Good evening, Chevra. Thank you so much for being here. Thank you, Yosef Sandler. Good to see you. Thank you, Rabbi. Thank you, Chaim Schwartz. I'm unmuting Chaim. Chaim, how are you? Am I clear?
How are you,
Is
Rabbi?
it coming out clear? Chaim, you're on. How are you, Chaim?
Very good.
Oh, it's not coming out clear. Zevi, are we clear? I'm not sure. Mendy Hech, could you tell me, are we clear, Mendy? So. Riri, how are we clear now, Riri?
What?
I can't hear you at all.
Are we
Oh my
clear?
gosh! Whoa! What a shock. Not completely clear. You're very blurry. Very blurry, but sounds wise.
Okay,
Yeah, good.
let's see
if
if we
blurry
get
matters.
this clear. Thanks for being here, Riri.
Momo, come here. I'm on our Kalish. Oh man.
Viggy, are we clear now? Viggy, clear or not so? Excellent. Baruch Hashem. Ami, we got it. Riri, you and Momo have to sing. Tonight, let's get Riri and Momo. Ezra, let's see if we can get Riri and Momo. Is the sound clear, guys? Ezra, give me a thumbs up if our sound is clear. So. Ezra Shulman, how's our sound?
Sound decent.
Medium.
The sound is the video is not good. It seems like your bandwidth.
Okay. If the sound is good, the video will manage. If the sound is good, Ellie Goldberg, is the sound good? Okay. So we'll go with the sound today. Don't be distracted by the video. Let's talk. Let our voices hear each other. Chevra, Yosef Sandler, I'm unmuting you. How is the sound, Yosef? You're unmuted, Yosef.
The sound is good for me.
Perfect. So the video is not so good, Yosef?
It's like so the video,
so
but I don't mind.
the video a little bit.
Yeah.
Okay, I apologize. Let's talk together. Let's listen to each other. We'll hear Ari Nachman. It goes like this. We're in Perek Sheni Mishnah Daled, and I'll tell the Chevra the truth that I have a cash on this Mishnah Yol Nachmani, and tonight I'm going to ask. What do you say? Yeah. Oh, thank you. Is the video any better, Viggy? I'm unmuting you, Viggy. Is the video any better, Viggs?
Yeah, it's better now.
Baruch Hashem. Good, thank you, Viggy. So Rabbi say, tonight I want to ask you a kasha. Tzvi, I don't know pshat. I'm going to offer an idea, but I really want one of the Bnei Torah to give us pshat. Tonight I have a Mishnah, very, very difficult Mishnah. We're going to learn Perek Beis, Mishnah Daled. I'll share with you an idea, but I admit that this Mishnah remains difficult for me to wrap my mind around. And I really want to ask one of the Bnei Torah, if somebody may have forced, or maybe Shimi Shil or somebody will explain this Mishnah to me. The Mishnah says as follows, Hu Omer. It quotes like this from Reb Gamliel. And he said as follows, Asay Ritzainai, do the will of Hashem, Kirtzainecha, like you do your own will. Asay Ritzainai, do Hashem's will, Kirtzainecha, like you do your own will. Kidei, in order, Sheyase Ritzaincha, Hashem will do your will, Kirtzainai, like he does his will. It's a great deal. If you do his will, like your own. Who'll do his will, who'll do your will like he does his own. It's a great trick. You kaviyachol manipulate Hashem. If you do Hashem's will, asay ritzaynoi, do his will, kiritzaynecha, like your own will, you'll be able to like get Hashem to do the things you like. It's a very good trick, Rabbi say. That's the first part of the Mishnah. Batel ritzayncha, be mevatel your will mipnei ritzaynai, to his will. Don't just do his will. Put his will before yours. Be mevatel your will to his will. And this is going to be a great trick. Kidei, in order, sheyevatel ritzayna cher mipnei ritzaynecha. Others' wills will become batel to yours. It's a great trick to get your will, to get what you want. Others' will become batel to yours if you mevatel your will to Hashem. Basically, we have a Mishnah that teaches you a great trick. If you want Hashem to do your will, we all have ritzainos. We have wills in our life. If you want your will done, so you know the trick, do Hashem's will like you do your own, maybe with a certain enthusiasm. However you do your will, do his will. Asay ritzaynoi kirtzaynecha. And that's a great trick. Hashem will listen to things you want. And if you want to be even more powerful, if you mevatel your ratzon to ratzon Hashem, your ratzon will become so powerful that others' ratzon will be batel to yours. The Mishnah looks like a trick as a. What is the Mishnah teaching us? What is it saying? Obviously, we should listen to mitzvahs. This Mishnah basically told you do Hashem's will. Maybe it means with enthusiasm, kirtzaynecha, like your own wills. I guess with an enthusiasm, like you do your own will, do his will. But there's some trick here. If you do that, he'll do your ratzon. And if you mevatel your ratzon to the ratzon Hashem, he'll be mevatel others' ritzainos to you. What's this? Rabbi say, is it a trick? Do Hashem's will. Spend our lives. It's the most important thing in the world. The Mishnah is advising Kidei. This is a good reason to do Hashem's will. Kidei, in order that your will becomes very powerful. Is this a way of asserting your own will? Rabbi say, what I want to say pshat in this Mishnah, and perhaps, and I ask if the Chevra has a pshat, I'm very open. The Nefesh HaChaim, there's much written on this. But what I want to share with the Chevra, and I'm open to hearing, is Rabbi say, this Mishnah speaks, a person has a lot of ritzainos. We have a lot of drives and wants in our life. What's makdish? What makes our wants holy? How do we make our wants important? We have a lot of ritzainos. How are we makdish? How do we make holy our wants? This Mishnah says that if we become a person of asay ritzaynoi, if we become a person who puts Hashem's will, kiritzaynecha, at least equal to our own will, it actually elevates our own will. Our own will becomes a holy tool. Reb Chaim Volozhin explains as two madregas. Asay ritzaynoi kirtzaynecha is one madrega. And even higher madregas, batel ritzaynoi. If we learn to give up our own ratzain for ratzon Hashem, first of all, place ratzon Hashem massively important in our life. That's asay ritzaynoi kirtzaynecha. And if we even do more, we push aside our own ratzon for ratzon Hashem. It's makdish. It makes holy our own ritzainos. Our own ritzainos become holy and worthy that Hashem is mevatel ratzon Hashem ritzainecha, because it now becomes holy our own ritzainos. That is the way to purify our own wills. I want to relate a story to the Chevra. I want to tell you an amazing story. I'm saying over this story for two reasons. Firstly, and the main reason, we learned the Mishnah that if a person is mevatel his ratzon for ratzon Hashem, he learns to push aside his ratzon for what's right and for what's true, then Hashem is mevatel others' ratzon for His will. So Reb Chaim Volozhin was known, the great Reb Chaim Volozhin who wrote the Nefesh HaChaim, the Talmud of the Gra. He was known for how seriously he took the words of Chazal. Every word of Chazal was taken completely serious. I want to tell you a story. There's a sefer, it's called Aviyah Yeshivos. Aviyah Yeshivos is a very important sefer about Reb Chaim Volozhin and about the yeshiva he created, Yeshivas Volozhin. It has very chashuv askamas, amongst them Reb Chaim Kanievsky, who said he didn't read the sefer, but gives askama on the author. It has very special askamas and is a very important sefer. In the sefer Aviyah Yeshivos, he brings a Maisa story that I want to share with the Chevra. It's on page 242 in the book, in the sefer. On page 242, he has the following story. Reb Chaim Volozhin had a daughter whose name was Esther. And this Esther was a very chashuv. She was the daughter, obviously, of Reb Chaim Volozhin, and she had a hearing problem. She had some problem with her hearing. Reb Chaim Volozhin badly wanted to make a shidduch. He had a Talmud that he held of a lot. The Talmud's name was Hillel. It was his best Talmud, from the best of Reb Chaim Volozhin's Talmudim. And his father, this Hillel's father, was Reb Simcha, one of the Rabbanim of Haradna. And Reb Chaim Volozhin badly wanted this Hillel, the son of this guy, Reb Simcha, the Rav of Haradna, one of the Gdolei Adar. Reb Chaim Volozhin wanted this Hillel for his daughter Esther. The mother of this bacher came to Volozhin to meet with Reb Chaim Volozhin's daughter. I'm very into a mama Rabbi say. It has a very good sense of a shidduch. Before I went out with my wife, I wanted my mother to meet my wife, and she did. And my mother told me that it was a good shidduch, and right she was. A mother has a good perception. So the mother of this bacher Hillel came to Volozhin to meet the Kala. And Lemaisa, the mother ended up feeling it wasn't a good shidduch. I think she was worried. Reportedly, she was worried about the hearing problem of Reb Chaim Volozhin's daughter, and she at that point wasn't maskim. She didn't agree to the shidduch. I'm skipping some details of the story, but after a while, Reb Chaim Volozhin still wanted this shidduch. He was very interested and badly wanted this Talmud. We can all relate that you pick somebody out who you're just so impressed with, and you want it so badly for a shidduch. I remember my oldest sister, my father picked out his closest Talmud until Baruch Hashem, my brother-in-law was the Talmud Chacham in Kiryat Sefer. My father was the Shadchan. And here I can relate to this story. Reb Chaim Volozhin picked out this wonderful bacher Hillel, and he wanted him for his daughter. And the mother of Hillel mixed the shidduch. A while later, Reb Hillel was this Reb Hillel is still steiging away. And Reb Chaim Volozhin still wants him as a shidduch for his daughter. Reb Chaim Volozhin's wife had a store, and she was traveling. She had a reason. She was traveling to the city far away. She was traveling for business. And Reb Chaim Volozhin told her in her trips to go to Hillel's family. It was a long distance away from Reb Chaim Volozhin lived. And Reb Chaim told his wife, again on this business trip, to go to Reb Simcha Varadna's house and speak to them to accept the shidduch for their daughter. Speak to Hillel's parents to accept the shidduch for Esther. And she says, okay, I'll do the mission. And she goes on the business trip. She's away for a long time on this business trip. And one day, Reb Chaim says to the people who were around him, his wife was on the business trip for a long time. And the story in Aviyah Yeshivas, that's a responsible sefer. And it says here that Reb Chaim Volozhin, without getting any news back from his wife, he says to the people around him, Mazel Tov, Mazel Tov. They agreed to the shidduch. My daughter is a kala. Biti Esther Nisarsa, my daughter is a kala. And he even gave out ugos. He gave out some cake. Reb Chaim Volozhin made a little l'chaim with the people around him, and he said, Mazel Tov, Mazel Tov. He even did a funny thing. It says here that Reb Chaim Volozhin, this is said over for Reb Yechiel Michal Meinishvias. He writes the story down, and he did something interesting. Reb Chaim Volozhin wrote down the exact moment of the Mazel Tov. He wrote down the exact minute, Tuesday night, 8:49, Mazel Tov, and he wrote it in front of the people around him. He said, I want to show you something. And he wrote down the minute. He sounds like Shlomo Levinger. Mamish Azak Koyach. He writes the minute down of the Mazel Tov. 8:49, Mazel Tov, my daughter's a coward. The bottom line is, his wife comes back with a Mazel Tov that they agreed to the shidduch. And they ask her what time. She says 8:49, Tuesday night. The second Reb Chaim Volozhin said Mazel Tov, mamish to the exact time. That was the exact time they agreed to the shidduch. Reb Chaim Volozhin wrote it down. He wanted the people around him to see this amazing nace. So they said to Reb Chaim Volozhin, the Talmidim, Rabbi Yechiel Michal, one of the students wrote down the story. And they said, Rebbe, who told you? Do you have Ruach HaKodesh? Are we seeing Ruach HaKodesh? You're a Navi, you're a prophet. How did you know your daughter was a Kala? They had said no for the longest time. And at this moment, you knew it was a Mazel Tov. Reb Chaim said, I'm not a Navi. That's not the story. It's not Nevuah Ruach HaKodesh. I just learned Torah. And there's a Mishnah in Avos. And he brought this Mishnah in Avos, where the Mishnah says, be mevatel your will for the will of Hashem. And if you mevatel your will for the will of Hashem, others' will become batel to yours. Said Reb Chaim Volozhin, I'll tell you like this, Viggy, listen, Reb Chaim Volozhin said like this, that till now, I barely wanted Hillel as the shidduch to my daughter. And it was all about my will. And it's interesting, he doesn't say it's bad to have such a ratzon. And he didn't get rid of his ratzon. He wanted Hillel for a shidduch. And that's a cool zach. Hashem gives us ritzainos. That's a will. There's nothing wrong with the will. But said Reb Chaim Volozhin, I decided and I worked on myself that, you know what? I'm so busy with my will. I want, it appears to me, I thought to myself, and I just at 8:49, you talk about a person who has an inner world, and you get a glimpse inside a gadol, the inner workings of a tzaddik. He said at 8:49, I finally succeeded in thinking, in putting aside my own will. He didn't say he didn't want Hillel, because there's nothing wrong with wanting Hillel as a son-in-law. But I finally succeeded in saying, you know what? I just want the shidduch that Hashem wants for my daughter. That became more important than my will. He said at that moment, I finally came to a place to be mevatel my own will. He said, I mamish was mekayim this Mishnah, batel ritzaynechem leritzaynoi. I finally pushed aside my own will. Hashem's will, I just want whoever the shidduch you want. He said, I had a certainty at that moment that I succeeded in Hashem's will was more important than what I want. Well, I still had the will for Hillel, but I succeeded. It wasn't so important to me anymore. Hashem's will was more important. So then I knew Vadai that the end of the Mishnah is going to happen. Now my will was pushed aside to Hashem's will. I knew the Mechutanim, Hillel's parents, would now listen to my will became important because I pushed it aside for the will of Hashem. And I knew the Mechutanim would be maskim to the shidduch. And I was successful at 8:49. So I knew now the shidduch's going to happen, the kachave. At that moment, they were maskim to the shidduch. A wild story. To me, the two lessons of the story. The first thing is a gadol, Reb Chaim Volozhin, how ernst he took the words of Chazal. It's not a Mishnah. The Mishnah says this, so that's the way it is. The words of Chazal, the Pashtus. There are many such stories, and it's a big theme of the Sefer Aviyah Yeshivos. They bring this story for this theme, how seriously and sincerely he took the words of Chazal. We're talking a lot about inner workings, levadoi, the picture of the grappling inside of himself. He wants a certain shidduch for his daughter, and there's nothing wrong with that want. But Lemaisa, then inside, nothing to do with what others know, inside, that the will of Hashem is more important, and he succeeded. He had a struggle. Weistais, it took a year. You can imagine of this giant, and he said he succeeded in being mevatel his ratzon to the ratzon Hashem. And then his ratzon becomes so powerful, others' ratzon was batel to his ratzon, because his ratzon was batel to ratzon Hashem. Amazing Maisa. I don't say I have the Mishnah clear, and I'm honest that this is a Mishnah that I'm grappling with. I've learned this Mishnah for years. I have many things that I learned from this Mishnah. I still struggled at the Kedei, that somehow you're doing something to your own will. I do feel and do think that this is mitaher our ritzainis. Our ritzainis aren't bad. We have many. Reb Chaim Volozhin wanted Hillel as a son-in-law. By the way, it became his son-in-law. Ritzainis, wills that we have are very fascinating. We have wills. I have this personal thing. If at times I feel I want to call a bacher, so I ask Hashem that if you give me the one to call somebody, that should be, tell me to call the guy by making me want to call him. And I have seen tremendous things. I've seen you call a guy exactly when he needed it. A will is not a bad thing. Our own wills, we have all different. I'm not talking about a ratzon loy tov. I'm talking about a ratzon we have. The question is how we can purify our ritzonos, how we can make them more valuable. And if we do his will with enthusiasm, somehow it changes our own ritzonos. Our ritzonos could become Hashem's ratzon. He'll make our ratzon his ratzon. He may even give us. A guy once asked me, I was in Camp Heller, and a guy asked me a question. I was standing next to our Sonnenschein, and he asked us both. A bacher walked up, and he said the whole din goyal adam, that this halach in the Gemara, it might even be a mitzvah. If a guy leaves miklat, the goyal adam, according to one Tana, has a mitzvah to kill. So he said, like, how can it be? He's all worked up and wants to get revenge, and it becomes a mitzvah. And I thought it was like funny, the guy's question. He assumed if we want something, it's bad. That's a very silly assumption. Reb Chaim Volozhin wanted this shidduch. And fascinating part of the story is there's nothing wrong that he wanted the shidduch. And by the way, once his ratzon was purified, Hashem made him want it because this was the right shidduch. I say that's the beginning. If we get busy with ratzon Hashem and with enthusiasm we engage ratzon Hashem, he'll actually use our ratzon as a tool for his ratzon. He'll make us want something that we should want. That's what the Mishnah is saying here. He'll make our will his will. He'll give us ritzonos he'll make us want a certain shidduch because it's the right one. But how do you purify your ritzonos? How cool would it be that our ritzonos would be purified and others' ratzon be batel to our ratzon? It's not saying here that you could be a bully. Hey, you want to be a bully? Others' ratzon will be batel to your ratzon, so you could bully everybody. It's not a bully. How do you get your ratzon? Reb Chaim Volozhin, if his ratzon to have Hillel as a son-in-law is so precious, is so important, others' ratzon will be batel to his ratzon. Do you get how? I want to explain something, Chevra. The first part of the Mishnah, if you do Hashem's will, your own ratzon becomes better. And Hashem will tell you things through your ratzon. If you mevatel your ratzon to ratzon Hashem, now you have a much higher madrega. Your will, mamish, becomes Ratzon Hashem. Others' will be bottled to yours. They'll pashat abedin asay ritzayna kitzaynecha. Your will becomes Ratzon Hashem. How do you get that your Ratzon, Reb Chaim Volozhin's Ratzon for Hillel is Ki'ilu a Ratzon Hashem? What this Gadol Adar, this Rebbe from Aradna, this great tzaddik, Reb Chaim Volozhin he has Aviyah Yeshivas. I love you, Viggy. Give a kiss to the Sefer. It's a chashuv Sefer. And we just heard Viggy a chashuv words from it. Reb Chaim Volozhin now made his will so powerful that the Gadol Adar, this one of the Gedolim, Reb Chaim wants the shidduch, the seder. The answer is yes. And Hillel married Esther. Reb Chaim Volozhin's will become so powerful that others' will should be bottled? The answer is, you know to make your ritzaynos powerful when you're mivatel your ritzaynos to Ratzon Hashem. When you work on subjugating your ritzaynos to Ratzon Hashem and focusing and being a Ratzon Hashem person, you elevate your own ritzaynos. You should. There's a word in the Gra. It says, Rabbis machshavos belevish. People have many thoughts. V'atzas Hashem yisakum. The Gra says that it doesn't mean we think many things and Hashem's things happen independent of our thoughts. No. He said that we have many thoughts going through our head. One of our thoughts is called Atzas Hashem. Of all the machshavos we have, he puts it in us, what's called Atzas Hashem. How do you make your ritzaynos to be precious? How do you make it that if you want a shidduch for yourself, it's the right one? That Ratzon, I want her. It's very powerful that I want her. It's a powerful zach that I want that shidduch for my child. Could you imagine that we could trust our ritzaynos? Because I want it. It's a good zach. You could trust your ritzaynos when you do Hashem's will with passion. Your ritzaynos, when you put Hashem's will as the most important thing of your life, your own ritzaynos start going in line. He'll make your ritzaynos such a person who's Eiseh ritzaynos, who's begeder a doer of Hashem's will. Hashem will purify his own ritzaynos. You'll be able to trust your ritzaynos. And by the way, if you do more, if you mevatel your ritzaynos in front of ritzaynos, if you're totally a greater madrega of Ratzon Hashem, then you'll have a greater madrega of your own ritzaynos will become ki'ilu Ratzon Hashem. This is what the Mishnah says here. It's complicated. I ask everybody to think. It's a fascinating Mishnah. If somebody wants to tell me more, teach me more, I'm studying a Mishnah. Reb Chaim Volozhin brought this Mishnah to the bank. He Pasha took this Mishnah to the bank, to the point that he was on a madrega when he felt he was mevatel his ratzon, that memela his ratzon still for Hillel, which he never felt he's supposed to destroy. He's just supposed to put Ratzon Hashem first. That ratzon became very chashuv. I want to share a pasuk in Mishlei, which is brought by the Mefarshim on this Mishnah, that I think is something important. I'm going off topic, Rabbi say, and I'm going off the topic. This is a complicated Mishnah, but I want to share something with you that I think will give everybody a lot of chizuk. The pasuk says in Mishlei, Birtzois Hashem darkei ish. When Hashem likes the ways of man, Gam oyavav yashlim itai, even his enemies will make up with him. If we do the Das Hashem, which is the end of this Mishnah, Batel Ritzayncha Mitnei Ritzaynai, if we're Mivatel and do Ratzon Hashem, others will be Mivatel their Ratzon to us. The Pasuk Shlomo Melech said that if Hashem likes the ways of man, even his enemies will make up with him. It always fascinated me. It doesn't say if you do the will of Hashem, you'll have no enemies. I want the Chevra, Ezra, Yossi Greenspan, I want the Chevra to do a lot with their lives. I want you to build shuls, yeshivas, koilelim. I want the guys to create L'man Hashem. Anything, Yossi, we build, you'll find opposition. That's the way of the world. Hashem wants us to stand up for what we believe in. And anything we want to build has opposition. Reb Chaim Volozhin, read about it. In his building Volozhin, there was plenty of obstacles. So certainly anything we want to accomplish, things stand in our way. And we'll have enemies and people who say we can't, people who say we shouldn't. Don't be afraid. Don't be afraid. Do everything b'derech hashalom. Do everything in a nice manner. And don't be afraid of opposition. It happens. Certainly make sure we're speaking to Das Torah, making sure there's sincerity. But don't melt from opposition. But gain chizuk from this great pasuk. B'rtzos Hashem darkei ish. If Hashem likes the ways of man, Gam Oyevav Yashlim Ita, his enemies will make up for it with him. It doesn't say that he won't have enemies. That's not promised. There will be people, and there could be the pasuk. Yosef Mammon, the tzaddik wanted to know the pasuk. It's in Mishlei Perek Tezayin, pasuk Zayin. B'rtzos Hashem darkei ish. When Hashem likes the ways of man, Gam Oyevav Yashlim Ita, his enemies will make up with him. He could have enemies. He could have people that will argue and fight with him. But you'll see at the end that they'll make up with you. At the end, they'll be masking. Sincerity will win out at the end. That's the promise of Hashem. It's a beautiful pasuk and so encouraging. It doesn't say along the way everybody will just be masking. That's not how it works. It's not how it works. Rabbi Yerucham Levavitz, the great mashgiach in the Mir, describes on the Mishnah that says Avi Oz Kinamer. You should have an azus, a chutzpah like a leopard. He says that anybody who starts something new, there's a degree of chutzpah, because it wasn't here till now. So mechatesi, you're just starting something. It wasn't here till now. There's an azus, but it's an azus tiktusha. Reb Chaim Volozhin, Reb Yerucham said it's an azus tiktusha. There's an azus. There's a chutzpah to start something new. But Abi Oz Kinamer. On this it was said, be Oz Kinamer. And certainly all the great leaders, we have Yisrael Salanter, who started a Musar with a lot of Yer Shamayim, and it has to be thought out, and it has to be L'Shem Shamayim. But don't be afraid of some opposition. Do everything b'shalom, with sweetness, with sincerity. But know that it's not a raya. Opposition is not a raya that you're wrong, not in the slightest. Because the pasuk doesn't say if Hashem likes your way, you'll have no enemies. It doesn't say that. It says, Gam Oyavav, you'll have enemies, but Yashlamita. At the end, out of respect, they'll work it out with you, out of respect. If a person sees they're not working it out, then he has to ask himself questions. Then he has to ask, Hashem doesn't like his ways. But when his ways are with sincerity, authenticity, he's doing Ratzon Hashem. And it's emes that he's doing Ratzon Hashem. And this historically, we see this. Many great people started many great movements, from Hasidus to the Muslim movement to many other things that were started and faced opposition. But we see Gam Oyevav Yashlamita. We see a Bechina that at the end everybody stands with respect, and everybody sees this taka that was good kavanas here. That is the promise of this pasuk in Mishlei, and that's the promise of this Mishnah. That if we're mevatel our ratzon, the ratzon Hashem, that we make sure tif it's batel to ratzon Hashem, so then our ratzon becomes purified, and others will taka be mevatel to our ratzon which is pure, which is batel to ratzon Hashem, others will be mevatel to. A fascinating Mishnah, Rabbi, a really fascinating Mishnah. I want to talk for a couple of minutes. I asked Mechila, tonight's Mishnah is so deep. I'm sure many of you struggle like me. Once I hear something that has my brain engaged, I can't hear other things. So I'm really being guilty now. Sometimes the songs are strategic. I personally don't like speaking out tons of things, and then guys are left that we can't think about something. So the truth is, this Mishnah, I'll be honest, my Mincha and Ma'ariv, I fought for Shemona Esrei, but this Mishnah definitely intruded on a lot of my prayers. You're not supposed to learn Iyun before davening. You should learn Torah, but not Iyun. Maybe I shouldn't have gone into this Mishnah for Mincha Ma'ariv. I could tell you this Mishnah was on my mind a lot. During Shemona Esrei, I pushed it away. But this Mishnah is fascinating. But I want to tell you, at least I don't want to just walk away with a kasha and with not such clarity. I want to share something. The Mishnah starts, do Hashem's will like your own will. What does that mean? Very vague command. In what way? Of course I'm doing mitzvahs. What does it mean to do it like my own will? What does that mean? I say Ritzaynoi, do his will like your own will. So I said when we learned it with enthusiasm, your own will you have an enthusiasm towards, do Hashem's will like your own will with enthusiasm. I want to share with you tonight what the Alter of Kelm says. The Alter of Kelm says to do Hashem's will like your own will. It means, and this Rabbi say is a very fascinating avodah. We can be martyrs, and we do the will of Hashem, and I've been a martyr, I'm a martyr. There's a certain type of person who serves Hashem like a martyr. He always feels he's giving up and he's losing. But what can I do? God said. That's not doing Hashem's will like your own will. When you do your own will, when you want Hillel as a shidduch, you're very excited to get Hillel as a shidduch for your daughter. So that's not what Hashem, doing Hashem's will like your own will means without martyrdom. So it means it's a fast, what can I do? What do you want from me, Hashem? Do my will, but without martyrdom. How can you tell somebody, I want you to do what I say and be happy about it? What do you want from me? I hear, I'll do Hashem's will. But like a martyr, there's a whole derech of avodas Hashem. It takes a lot of chachma. It takes tremendous wisdom, and it's a whole derech of avodas Hashem. Of course, we do Hashem's will, but we learn to do it in a manner that we could be excited about. I would tell somebody who wants to be Mekayim this Mishnah, so you have to go to Mincha. But I don't just have to go, I have to be happy about it. Don't be a martyr, because Kirutzaynecha, like your own will. So what do you want from me? But I don't want to go to Mincha. I would tell a guy to go to a minyan that has a good friend of his there. And B'dafka, trying to be B'simcha, afterwards, chap a good shmooze with your friend. Go to a minyan that they sing this Kedusha song that Matt Levin davens for the Amud. Be chachmadik, embrace Torah in a manner. I say with sign, I'll tell you a maisa. A bacher once went to Rabbi Sonnenschein Shlita, and this bacher told Rabbi Sonnenschein, he described how much he learns, but like a martyr, he doesn't like learning. Rabbi Sonnenschein told him that he's never allowed to start. You know, sometimes after Shacharis, a guy wants to be a frumma. He wants to be the frummest guy in his yeshiva, so he quickly learns before he goes to breakfast. Rabbi Sonnenschein told the bacher that it's usher for you to learn till you eat a good Danish. Take a good Danish, and then you're allowed to learn. You have to feel good, geschmack about your learning. I say, you're steiging like a martyr. That's not the way to learn Torah. If the chiyuv was, do Hashem's will, tough luck. So then that's not this Mishnah. I say, said the Alter of Kelm, is a whole style of avodas Hashem, to embrace and engage avodas Hashem in a way that I'm excited and fired up, and it takes a whole chachma. It's a whole chachma. If a guy davens too long, and because of that he doesn't like davening, he's not doing this Mishnah. This Mishnah's mechayev first maybe should go a little quicker, because he needs to enjoy it. Avad will come to Madregas. He'll come slowly, he'll slow down, he's getting into it. We have to bring Hashem that we're doing his will like we do our will, devoid of a sense that I'm Moise Nefesh, a sense of martyrdom. Do his will like you do your own. At that point, we've been Mekayim this Mishnah. It's a whole style of Avodas Hashem. It doesn't mean to only do it when it's easy, but it means to do it in a way, in an intelligent way, that we can have our shleimus in it, that we can buy yourself a nice siddur. Buy yourself a good siddur. Write a nice inscription. Get a good siddur. Get Vigi Ben Ayim to sign your siddurs. Something geschmack. There are eitzes and tricks. It's a style. But das steht in the Mishnah. Embrace avodas Hashem. That's what the Mishnah Pashup Shat. Do Hashem's will like your own will. I'm not a martyr of my own will, so I have to figure out to do Hashem's will in such an oifen. It's a style and a way of avodas Hashem that, of course, we do Hashem's will. But I say with Sinai, I think when we do this, we can then come to the second part of the Mishnah, Batel Ritzaynai. At that point that we've learned to do Hashem's will with such cheshek, with such ava, we then and only then could be Nevatel Ratzat Ritzaynai. Somebody asked me a kasha, and I want to share this. Somebody asked me, I have a kasha on Waterbury. In the yeshiva, you teach to serve Hashem with such geschmack. It's one of the most sophisticated kashas in our yeshiva. So a guy asked, what happens to doing it when it's hard? Minyan is so geschmack. You look around at Minyan, you see a Vigi Ben Ayim davening, a Mayor Palak in his tefillin. It's so beautiful and geschmack. In life, we have to do things that are hard also. So he asked, what's pshat? You're teaching to do mitzvahs with geschmack. The answer is that I've run before Yitzchak. Of course, first you have to fall in love with Yiddishkeit. Of course, there's a bechena. Of course, after there's an ava and there's a cheshek, you also, of course, have to learn when you feel nothing, when you don't want to also do it. But that's after there's built cheshek. That's mamish, the sophisticated pshat in this Mishnah. Pashup pshat. I shouldn't say sophisticated. When somebody carefully learns Mishnayos, allow us to learn Mishnayos together. Asay ritzaynai kirtzanecha. Do Hashem's will like your own will, which we're upteaching, devoid of martyrdom. Embrace, engage with a chayus, with a geschmack. Learn to be excited and do it in a manner that brings out an excitement. Daven with your best friends. Make a nice minyan. Sing a nice Varma song. Make a nice Kiddush after davening. Asay ritzaynai kirtzanecha. Embrace His ruts and find it in you. Find that nekuda that you connect to in a profound way. After you acquire Asay ritzaynai kirtzanecha, now you're ready for step 2. Batel ritzaynai. Now there are going to be times where your ratzayn's misnaged. Now you're ready, be mevatel your ratzon. You're ready for the shlav beis. There's an excitement. There's an embracing. You're now shaykh. You've built in a proper way. Of course, that's an important conversation. Nobody can walk out the doors of yeshiva till they learn the second. If you stop halfway through a mishnah, so of course you don't have a davar shalom. Of course, the first part is asay ritzaynai kirtzanecha, to find an excitement and a geschmack and a connection. And when we have that, we're shaykh batal ritzaynai. There are times you're going to have to mevatel your own ratzon to the ratzon Hashem. You're going to have to do it when no part of you feels it. And when you're unsuccessful in being excited and those days and moments, but now you're built and shaykh to that second part of the Mishnah. So you can't leave after we learn the first part. If you leave after the first part of the Mishnah, you say it's dangerous. Okay, because you didn't stick around for the second part of the Mishnah. But these are the 2 parts of this amazing, amazing Mishnah that I wanted to share with the Chevra. I asked for some feedback, Rabbi say. I am the Kedei on both parts, both Kedeis. I want some feedback. It's my honor. Today was a bit heavy. If we can hear those precious B'nai Torah just to bring us the Simcha of Ritzaynai, let's get Momo and Riri to sing us a beautiful song.
Oh my gosh.
Momo, Riri, could you sing us one? Do you mind?
No. I want to wait. What should I played a song. Could we do what's it called? I'm forgetting what it's called. I'm Carl.
Don't worry.
Morty, what's up?
Okay, I'm gonna get a guitar because I want to
get a guitar and you sing the song you want to sing. Thank you. Yoel Rahmani, thank you for being here. Thank you, Yoel.
Yoel.
Yosef, it was tremendous this morning. Thank you, Yosef. Thank you very, very much. Appreciated. I wish somebody asked for Mike Storch's number. Beli neder, I'll try to get a hold of it. Thank you, Yossi Garfian, for being here. Thank you. Thank you, Yossi, for being here. It means a lot. Yossi Garfian's here. Chesed Hashem, thank you. Chaim Schwartz, thank you for being here. I have to hear you sing, Chaim. Oh, he has the guitar. Beautiful.
We're here.
Could we do Ki Karev?
Could you please do Ki Karev? I like that song a lot.
Very easy.
Did you purposely pick it because it was tonight's theme? The Karev Elecha Davar Ma'ai, Beficha Bilvavcha L'Asaisa means that it's close to you, is I'm not asking for a bittul of you. Beficha Bilvavcha L'Asaisa, you can connect. It's mamish this Mishnah, Tzei Ritzayin Kertzanecha. Thank you for picking the exact song, Momo. Thank you. Thank you. Appreciate it a lot. That was gorgeous, gorgeous. You nailed it, Momo. Thank you, Riri and Momo. Thank you.
Thank you.
That was off the charts. Thank you, guys. Oh, boy. I should have had you go last night. Thank you. Thank you. Chaim. Chaim and Shloime, how are you?
Great now.
Doing great.
That was so nice. It was so nice last night.
Yeah.
Really, really, really nice. Thank you so much.
Now I Chapa, we always want to sing for you.
You're so sweet, Chaim. Thank you. How are things in your bunker, Chaim?
They're really nice.
Good. Good. Excellent.
Yeah,
I
I actually want to say something. It's I'm not usually a storyteller.
Please
But I was
tell
listening
us.
to here while I was biking today, and I was dead. I biked for like 4 hours, and you just kept on saying, "Don't give up, don't give up, don't give up," and I just keep on pushing, and I just kept on pushing. So thank you for the motivational speech.
It's so funny you said that, Chaim. My son asked me, Chaim, that you said for Rabbi Kiva never give up. What chiddush are you saying? What's the other alternative? So I told him in Torah there are two things. Sometimes we learn a novel idea that told us something. Tonight we're learning from a Mishnah, a novel idea. The story of Rabbi Kiva, what I wanted to share wasn't about the chiddush. It was about the inspiration. There was a person called Rabbi Kiva who could be our Rebbe. The inspiration of somebody who everything was lost and stood up and taught again and built again. This year resonated by me. It's not the novel idea or the other choice. It's the person who did it, who stood up amidst the most devastation shayach and stood up and built. We find in our own times there's a certain weakness, a sense of could we do, a certain weakness of despair, of frustration, and to hear a story, it's not about is there really another choice? It's about seeing and experiencing somebody who did it and getting the charge and an energy from it. And it hit me. It was my best Lag B'Omer of my life, Chaim. I never had a lot. I don't say it was the best everything in my life. This has been a complicated time. It was the best Lag B'Omer. I connected. Rabbi Kiva taught me something today. So thank you, Chaim, for being inspired by that. Thank you. Thank you. Bike on, Chaim. Bike on. Chaim Schwartz, you're unmuted.
Hey, Rabbi.
Do you just have a beautiful voice or you also play guitar, Chaim?
I also play guitar.
Wow. Is it within 3 feet? What?
No, I could get it. I just don't want to keep it.
So I'm going to ask. I want tomorrow night, put a guitar. You're social distancing from your guitar. I don't know if you're with us. This chevra has been keeping the first days, so we're allowed. If you're also a first dayer, if you could bring your guitar, whether it's tomorrow night or Thursday, we want to hear you, Chaim. Thank you, Chaim. Thank you. Looking forward. Thank you, Chaim. Thank you, Rafal. Thank you to Riri and Momo for singing. Thank you, Ezra Shulman. Chassan, I got to see you dancing in front of that Madura. It was exciting, Chassan. Thank you.
Thank you.
I don't want to sound too corny, but fire. Excellent.
It was lit.
Thank you, Ezra. Excellent. You and your brothers, your younger brother dancing. I have like a big excitement to tell the Olam that we're going to be Zoycha Eli Goldberg tomorrow night. Is going to share with us some Divrei Torah. So I wanted to share coming attractions with the Chevra. I want to thank Meilech. I want to thank Rabbi Brownstein for being here. Viggy and Rabbi Ben Hayim is here. Thank you so much for being here. Schus to see Viggy with his Heilige Tatas. Schus Gadol. Thank you so much for being here. Shua Weiss, thank you. I'm unmuting you, Shua. Thank you for being here, Shua Weiss. You're unmuted, I think. Let's try again. We did it, Shua. How are you, Shua?
I'm amazing. How's the Rabbi?
Excellent. So happy to be with you. I'm looking forward to being together in person, Shua.
Thank you. Likewise.
You mind if I give you a virtual hug?
No, I'll take it. I'll give it back.
Thank you, Shua. Thank you. Thank you, Shua. I don't know the etiquette. In person, you don't hug somebody who doesn't want to hug. I think a virtual hug should have the same din. You have to ask Rishus also. Thank you, Shua, for being here. Thank you. It means a lot. Thank you. Rabbi, have an outstanding night. And Be'ezeh Hashem, tomorrow night, we'll have the chance. Tomorrow, Be'ezeh Hashem, Shlomo Franklin will sing for us. Very kedai to hear. Tomorrow will be the afternoon. We'll learn together at 2 o'clock. Be'ezeh Hashem, 2 o'clock. And tomorrow night at 8:30, and tomorrow night we'll get to hear from Eli Goldberg, Divrei Torah. Have an outstanding night, Rabbi Say. Thank you so much.